Hey guys, Bambino here, and I'm in the Baron 58 and AeroFly FS2, and I'm about to show you how you can use the touch controllers with AeroFly FS2. Yeah, the touch controllers are now compatible with the AeroFly FS2. This feature came out, I guess it was last week on Friday, in late February. Also, obviously, if you're using a Vive, you can use the Vive controllers, but I have an Oculus Rift and Touch, so that's what I'm going to be showing you today. And I want to talk with you about the positives and the negatives of this capability. It's great you have it because you have now some more immersive interaction in the cockpit in AeroFly FS2. And I'm in the Baron 58, which is really my favorite plane in this flight sim. And I want to show you how these work. So you've got yoke control, and you've got to stack, button control and switch control, as well as rudder control. Okay, your left controller controls your rudder and your brakes. So right now I have the joystick pulled all the way back on the left controller. If I let go of that, you can see the plane will start rolling a little bit. Okay, and you can see that I'm toe tapping the brakes right there. But you can't see me pulling this joystick back, but I'm pulling the joystick back on this controller right here. Okay, the right allows you to grab the yoke, okay, and it allows you to control the yoke with the joystick like that. I actually prefer flying the plane with the joystick rather than grabbing the yoke, but you could do either one. Now, it kind of poses a little bit of an issue, because if you want to fly the plane with your left hand, which most people would do, I think, right, and use this hand to control the plane, you can't use it's very difficult to use the rudder, right? So if you want to fly the plane with your left hand, you're going to have to use the joystick at the same time as you're flying with your left hand. So that's might be a little bit complicated to do with one hand there. And then you'd use your right hand to control buttons and dials and stuff if you wanted to fly with touch controllers. And I didn't find a way you could configure how these were set up at all in the system yet. So it would be good if you had some ability maybe to switch it so that, let's say, the right hand was the rudder and the brakes, and the left hand was just the yoke, yoke grab. Now to grab the yoke, you just basically pull on the trigger and the palm button, and that grabs the yoke. Okay. To fly the plane, you move your controller up and down. Okay. To turn the plane, and in and out to pitch the plane. So that's basically a realistic control. I will tell you that after a while, your arm gets a little bit tired doing that. So you want to make sure if you're doing that, you have your elbow rested. That's why for me it's better to have a left hand control, because I'm going to rest my elbow on my chair and be able to have a comfortable situation. But again, you can also do it by controlling the joystick, which I'm doing right here, to turn the yoke. All right. So that's how you control the yoke. You have full control over your throttles. We just pull the propeller back. I grab this, pull the props back. I can pull the mixture back. I can move the throttles forward. I use my finger here to push the flaps, any button as well. I can just use my finger to go up and down to do that. As far as the dials go, I can press dials on the autopilot like that. Okay, so that all works fine. All the buttons here work that you can think of. I can grab this little heading dial like that just by pulling in the trigger key, and once I do that, I grab that button. I just turn my wrist, and it turns the heading, which is kind of cool. It's basically how you would do it in real life, right? So, for example, if I want to grab one of these radio dials, I want to grab the larger one or the inner one, I could grab that and move the higher number. Or if I wanted to grab the smaller dial, I could grab that and move the smaller number. I could switch the radios, not a problem. On the transponder, I just grab these dials and I can tune my transponder to whatever I want. The COM one, that doesn't work. Okay, COM one doesn't seem to be working. But I'm just see if I can grab this and turn it on. Nope. So the communications doesn't work on this plane. And that's pretty much it. That's how they work. Very nice. You get very nice feedback when you grab it. You can feel a little bit of vibration when you turn on that wheel. Okay, or when you press a button, you feel a little bit of vibration, and that works pretty well. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this up for a quick flight. I'm going to fly it by holding the yoke. Okay, try to do this now. I got my brakes on because I'm going to throttle this plane up, and you can't grab both throttles. At least I haven't been able to. You have to push up. Oh, one thing before we do that. On the menu button on your left touch controller allows you to center the view, which is a nice feature to have. So I'm pressing that little menu button on the left touch controller, and that's getting my view centered. Okay, so let me just push back here. I'm going to put my brakes on, pulling me back on that yoke, and let me just put my throttle forward here. Okay, get my flaps. Oop. There we go. Now this is challenging because I'm controlling the plane with the yoke, sorry, the rudder, with the joystick, the same hand that I have the yoke on. All right, let me get up to speed here, and I want to pull back on that yoke, and then I'm going to fly it. Alright, so that's not too bad. Yeah, still a few kinks to work out. I have to tell you that since I have a physical yoke, I prefer that, and rudder pedals, I prefer that. I will tell you that I had some issues with conflict with the touch controllers and my CH Products yoke and rudders. I had to disengage both of those devices to be able to use the touch controllers. When I had them engaged, the rudder pedals would cause the yoke to go all the way to the left, and if I had the yoke engaged, I wasn't able to use the throttle with the touch controller. So it's either one or the other, right? So it would be nice to have a combination of touch controllers, let's say for above the waist, and rudder pedals for below the waist. All right. As you can see here, now I'm flying with I'm going to go to fly with the yoke with the joystick on this hand, so let me just do that. Now I'm just using the joystick to fly, and I actually prefer that. It's more comfortable. I can kind of rest my elbow. So, I mean, if you don't have a physical yoke, physical rudder pedal, it's definitely a nice solution to fly the plane. I would say that it's not very realistic, but it's doable. It's better than a mouse, better than a keyboard, but it's got some issues. I would like to see the ability to configure the touch controllers, right? Because right now these buttons don't work. You don't have the buttons don't do anything when you're in the cockpit, except for that menu button, which straightens out your view or centers your view. So I'd love to see if you could have maybe configure the buttons for views or something like that. But I guess they've yet to come out with a feature in the configuration that allows you to bind keys to your touch controller. So hopefully they'll do that soon. But anyway, as we fly towards New York, Manhattan here, I just wanted to say these are the touch controllers. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the like button if you like what you saw, and don't forget to subscribe to Bambino Games for more virtual reality flight simulation. And this is a free upgrade. You don't have to pay for this. If you already own AeroFly FS2, just go to Steam and you can upgrade to the new feature. All right, guys, have a great day and safe flying.